This is 706, 701. These are the last 4 or 5 questions on the backside of the handout I gave you today that you were working in class. So you'll find out. So it's this, no. It's this one, starting with Tim. Okay, so this one's a tricky question because it says there are 2 cell phone plans, right? And one plan is from Cingular. I don't know if you guys even remember Cingular, the company. And then Verizon. So let's look at Cingular. Cingular charges $39.99 per month plus 0.45 cents per minute. Okay. Verizon charges $44.99 per month plus 0.40 cents per minute, right? So $44.99, I don't know what it gets you, right? A certain amount of minutes, etc. And then there's an extra charge here. So the question here says, how many minutes, additional minutes, will it take for the 2 plans to cost the same? So you can obviously tell that the plans are a little bit different. Okay, their monthly charges are a little bit different, and their per minute charges are a little bit different. But there's going to be a point. There's going to be a point where both plans are going to be the same. So how many minutes do you have to use? What is this common minutes that they have? Let me rephrase it. So there's going to be a certain amount of, no. So there's going to be a certain point when both services actually come out to be the same price for a certain amount of minutes. So let's see how that works out. So if I make these 2 equal to each other, if I make the Cingular plan equal the Verizon plan, this is what I have. And you'll see how this works in a second. So first thing I would do, there's variables on both sides, so let's get rid of one. I'm going to get rid of the 0.40, so minus 0.40m, minus 0.40m. If I do that, these go bye-bye, and then I'm left with 39.99 plus, use your calculator, 0.05m equals 44.99. I'm going to subtract minus 39.99 on both sides. And if I do that, this goes bye-bye. I have 0.05m equals 5. Divide both sides by 0.05. And I'm going to get that m is 100. So what does this 100 means? And I want to show you what that 100 means. So if let's say on the Verizon plan, I talked for 100 minutes extra. So I'm going to pay the $44.99, and they're going to charge me 40 cents for the 100 minutes extra that I went over. So it's 40 cents. I'll put a little x here so we don't get confused, times 100. If you multiply 40 cents times 100, right? If you multiply 40 cents times 100, you're going to get 40. So all those extra 100 minutes that I talked, it's going to cost me quite a little bit. And I am going to end up paying $44.99 plus 40. I'm going to end up paying Verizon at the end of the month $84.99. Now let's see what happens with Cingular. Now let's say that I am on the Cingular plan, and I also speak for 100 minutes extra. So I'm going to pay 0.45 cents per the 100 minutes that I spoke a little bit extra that month. So if I multiply 45 cents times 100, I'm going to get $45. 0.45 cents times 100, I'm going to get 45. So I'm going to pay the $39.99 that I have to pay anyway for the month. And then for the extra 100 minutes, I'm going to pay 45. If I add these two, 45 plus 39.99, I'm going to get 84.99. Now weird? So at 100 minutes, both plans, I pay the same. It won't happen with any other number, but at 100 minutes, and only 100 minutes, they shared this, that if you and I had these two different plans, at 100 minutes though, both companies would be charging $84.99. Not on the other ones, just this one. Okay. Same thing. So the next question is literally the same, but it's talking about FedEx and UPS. So let's talk about UPS. UPS charges $7 for the first pound, so you're gonna pay $7 no matter what, and then 0.20 cents for the extra pound. FedEx, so let me write UPS, and then FedEx is going to charge us $5 for the first pound plus 0.30 cents for the extra pound. So you might think, hey, maybe this one is cheaper or this one is cheaper, but it depends on how much extra you're sending. You know, one company might be better than the other one, but there's going to be a certain amount of pounds here that we're going to try to figure out right now, that if you send it, whether it was UPS or you send it with FedEx, you would end up paying the same. So what would that weight be? And that's what we're looking for. So if I make the expression from UPS, which is this, equal the expression from FedEx, I'm going to find that common pound that's going to have the same price for both companies. So let's follow what we've been doing so far. Let's get rid of one of the p's. So let's just get rid of, let's get rid of the minus 0.20 here, right? And then minus 0.20p. If I do that, these two go away. 7 comes down, 5 comes down, and 0.30 minus 0.20 is just simply 0.10p. Subtract 5 from both sides, and I'm going to get 2 over here, and 0.10p. Divide by 0.10, divide by 0.10, and p is going to be 20. So at 20 pounds, so let's say you're going to send something with UPS that weighs 20 pounds. It's going to be $7 for the first pound, and then 0.20 times p, which is times 20, and 7 plus 20 times 0.20, 20 times 0.2 is just going to give us 4. So you will be paying 11. This FedEx is 5 plus 0.30 times P, which is 20 pounds. And 5 plus 30 cents times 20 pounds here would be 6. And $11. So at 20 pounds, notice how funny this is. At 20 pounds, it doesn't matter if you chose UPS or FedEx, they both would charge you at the same price. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we were looking for. Now, this one, a little tricky. It says the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 123. So I'm asking you for 3 numbers consecutive. So let's say 3, 4, 5. It could be 70, 71, 72. It's 3 numbers consecutive, meaning they follow each other, right after each other. And if I take those 3 numbers and I add them, I'm going to get 123. So what are those consecutive numbers? Well, I don't know what they are, so we're gonna have to figure out, right? So I do know this, that if my first number is x, right? So let's pretend my first integer is x. The number that follows x would be x plus 1, right? That makes sense because it's the number right after. And then the number right after that would be x plus 2. Right, so let me take an example. Let's pretend that x equals 5. So this would be 5. This would be 5 plus 1 because x equals 5. So 5 plus 1, which is 6. And this would be 5 plus 2, which would be 7. So the 3 consecutive numbers would be 5, 6, and 7, right? So that. Now, what we do know is that if I add these 3 consecutive numbers, the total is 123. So let's add them. So it's the first number plus the second, which is x plus 1, plus the third, which is x plus 2, and that all has to add up to 123. Oops, I did this wrong. Well, let me do it this way from now. If I combine like terms, I can combine x, x, and x, which is 3x. And then I combine the 1 and the 2, which is 3, and that equals 123. Minus 3 minus 3. I'm going to get the 3x equals 120. divide by 3, divide by 3, and I get that x equals 40. So my first number is 40. If my first number is 40, the second number is going to be 40 plus 1, which is 41, and the third number is going to be 40 plus 2, which is 42. Now, this would be how most questions are worded, okay? So find the numbers if the, okay, find the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 123, find the 3 integers, and I just did. But I made a mistake. There are 3 consecutive integers, right? The greatest of them. So let's pretend it's 40, 41, and 42. So it says that I want to represent the greatest of the 3 numbers with x. So if the greatest is x, what is 41? 41 would be x minus 1. And if the greatest is x, well, how do I represent 40? I would represent 40 as x minus 2. So this should have actually been x plus x minus 2, x minus 1, plus x minus 2 equals 123. So that's the mistake I made here. So I have 3x, right? Because x, and x is 3x. Minus 1 minus 2 minus this is something minus 3 equals 123. Plus 3, I'm going to get 3x equals 126. Divide both sides by 3, and x is going to be 42. So the biggest, oh, look. So the biggest of numbers is 42, the second biggest is 41, and the last one is 40. Coincidental? Maybe. Now this one says the sum of 3 consecutive even integers. So think about what even integers is. Well, we're talking about numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, skipping by 2s are 20, 22, 24. So let's imagine, let's call 20x. If we call 20x, what would we call 22? Well, it'd be x plus 2. And how can we represent 24? 24 would be the x plus 4, right? So I'm not saying 20, 22, and 24 are numbers, but this is how they would be represented. So I want to add 3 consecutive even integers. Could have been 40, 42, 44. It could be 68, 70, 72, whose sum is 144. Now that I know how to represent them, I can write x plus 2 plus x plus 4, and all that has to equal 144. Again, combine like terms, I get 3x. 2 plus 4 is 6 equals 144. Minus 6 on both sides, and we'll see how simple this gets. 3x equals 138. Yeah, 138. Divide both sides by 3, and 138 divided by 3 equals 46. Am I right? Yay, I'm right. So x equals 46. So if x equals 46, if my first even number is 46, the second even number is going to be 48. And the last even number is going to be 50. And if you add those, you should get 144. And you do. Okay. 46 plus 48 plus 50 equals 144. Last one. Last one is a little simpler. There are 2 numbers whose sum is 72. One number is twice the other. So 2 numbers, if you add them, so I'm adding 2 numbers over here, and their sum is 72. Well, what do I know about the numbers? I know that one number is twice the other one. So if I call this x, the other number is twice x, which would mean it makes it 2x, twice x. Now add, combine like terms, x plus 2x is 3x, and this becomes a simple one-step equation. Divide this by 3, and x equals 24. So if x is 24, the other one is twice 24, or 2 times x, right? And 2 times 24, it's going to give us 48. You can always double check. Add 24 plus 48, see if you get 72. And you can see that you indeed do get 72. So we have it correct. That's that. And that was pretty simple. Only 14 minutes today.